Hello everyone. So large-scale Russian mechanized assaults are back after a bit of a lull towards the end of last year. This video was shared by Ukraine showing clips from a Russian push near Pokrovsk region. This was a big one. Ukraine reports that Russian losses here include 96 motorcycles, 21 armoured vehicles, 2 cars and 2 artillery systems. These videos don't show all the losses, but do include some of them. We see multiple armoured fighter vehicles hit. Now to get this video up on YouTube, I have edited out parts which show drone strikes on infantry, which did make up a big chunk of the video, but certainly we can see these armoured vehicles were hit hard. The geolocation is interesting. With the huge reports of losses, I assumed this was one massive column, but it's not the case. As seen here, the geolocation done by both German Observer and Blinsk on Twitter for these spots here. So you can see we have incidents in 4 locations geolocated, hinting at 2 major pushes here in around the same area. Let's have a look at deep states and see what the situation is. So they're roughly shown by the blue circles. 3 of them right on the front lines are just inside Russian occupied territory. 2 on the right pushing north towards Malivnivka. 2 on the left. One was hitting Russian occupied territory, the other, the most concerning one, hitting Ukrainian controlled territory east of Myrolubinivka. Given the Russian presence here, it does seem that Russia has managed to cross that river you can see to the south and has likely captured the small settlement of Novotoretsk. So, the 2 pushes here are looking to be like so. This is a common tactic of Russia's. Push hard with as many vehicles and troops as possible on the flanks of an area, and create a little pocket to isolate Ukrainian troops. If this push towards Myrolubivka works, you can see one of those little pockets forming around the settlement in the centre. Yelya's Vetivka. It's a tactic which has very, very high losses, as seen here, but does work after a while and does eventually grind Ukrainian forces down. This is east of Pokrovsk, a key area at the moment. One of Russia's targets looks to be to cut off that big supply road heading east, which makes sense. I can see why they're aiming for that, whilst also simultaneously creating one of those little pockets I mentioned. One interesting thing about this video and a few others we've seen recently is the renewed use of BMPs. We saw a decline in those towards the end of last year, with lighter vehicles and civilian vehicles being used instead. I see a few possible reasons for this. Firstly, Russia did have a shortage of BMPs because of high vehicle losses, but since managed to get some from storage into working order and delivered to the front line. The shortage, number 2, was Russia trying something new, much like when they started using golf carts to get to positions quickly and without being seen. Maybe they thought they'd try something similar with civilian vehicles, sort of halfway between a golf cart and a BMP, so able to carry more troops and more equipment, but being harder to spot than BMPs. But it didn't work, so they switched back to BMPs. Or, number 3, they simply used the cars and lighter civilian vehicles in the winter months because BMPs would get bogged down in the mud and the poor conditions. Perhaps a combination of them all, really. Russia certainly has lost a lot of BMPs, but we do have a lot in storage. So I wouldn't be surprised if they have dragged a bunch more from storage to fill the shortage of those that's been lost. But certainly this is an area we do need to keep an eye on now, as things look to be starting to heat up here a bit. So that's it for this video. Not much else to discuss here. Now I'm going to play a video from Dmitro, a Ukrainian soldier who've raised money for in the past, who's doing a new fundraiser to buy a quad bike for drone operators. Big thanks to everybody who helped out so far. His PayPal is in the description. Thanks very much and take care, everybody.
We are a team of drones pilots of 33rd Engineering and Sapering Battalion. We lost our quad bike 2 days ago in a mission. We are asking for you to help us to buy new quad bike because we need to get soldiers, batteries and drones into position. We defend Ukraine and Europe from Russian occupiers. Thank you for your support. Every cent is important for us. Glory to Ukraine!
Героям слава!